Welcome back to the podcast, my friends. Today on the Goku Runner Talks podcast, we're going to talk to Frankie, talk about all his journey through life, running, and everything else. We'll find out more about him in this episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Goku Runner Talks podcast, and today we have Frankie. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How's it going, Jeremy? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. So I first met Frankie over at the Galveston 10K, and I think that was like your first 10K or your first race. What was it over there?
Um, yeah, I think that was my first 10K ever.
Yeah.
So,
So before we get into your first 10K and the Galveston toughest 10K Galveston, tell me about a little bit about your like athletic history and everything.
um, well, honestly, most of my life I was just a really fat dude. I ain't gonna lie. Growing up, I had no motivation going even to high school. I mean, I was a big guy, but I didn't even play for football. I didn't do any sports. I mean, I'll go to the park and play with friends, but it wasn't
Hmm.
like I didn't have that competitive edge or anything. There was like nothing I felt. I was just being lazy all the time.
So
So,
you're how much now, and how much were you back then? Your weight?
so right now I'm hovering around just 300, but back then, I think I was like about 420,
Wow,
probably.
yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah,
weight.
yeah. So
So,
I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
oh yeah, so what changed? What did you do to lose the weight, or was it your mindset, or what was it? Because I feel like when people like I have some friends that are pretty, they're overweight, and I try to help them out and try to get them to run, but it's not until that person sets it in their mind that they want to make a change that they actually make a change. So what was that for you?
I think there's like multiple things for me.
Mhm.
One, I remember the first thing was I'd always be tired, walking, going up the stairs, just normal day to day things. So
Yeah,
I figured, I'll just go to the gym and work out. But that was also a poor mindset for me because I'm like it was more like a grocery list. Oh, here I'm at the gym. I did my due diligence, but I would still have the bad habits of eating out.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think what really started off for me is because I'm originally from Las Vegas.
Hmm.
So I used to go hiking at some point, and even that kind of helped. But I think what really changed was moving out here. There's no mountains in Texas,
No, there's not.
so
There is not.
there's none. So it was driving me nuts. So I was like, okay, I can't go into nature anymore. So I have to find something new for me to really enjoy. So I started getting into mixed martial arts.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's being around I would also just say the people that you have around you, because the
Mhm.
mixed martial arts community really kind of pushed me a lot more. Instead of just doing boxing, hey, get your hand in here, like kickboxing or jujitsu. And the next thing you know, said let's do a hit class, and then so on, so on. I started building that mentality and that fire. I want to do more. There's more things I could be more capable of if I
Yeah.
just decide to just get rid of these bad habits and be more disciplined. So I think it's just more I guess it's like a goal oriented thing or like a mindset thing for sure.
Yeah. So you went from 420, and then you went hiking, and then you lost some weight, and then you went to what's it called, BJJ, and then you lost some more weight, or was it like when did you start BJJ? How much weight did you lose by then?
So when hiking, I mean, I'm not knocking hiking or anything like that, but it was just me just going for a walk pretty much.
Hmm.
And, but it wasn't intense hiking. I mean, we did have some intense hiking, but it's I stopped anytime I had the chance.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I power through. So,
Hmm.
but also we talk about it's food, because sure I would be hiking, I could probably burn 2,000, maybe even more calories, especially since I'm a big guy. But after
Yeah.
that, I'm going to whatever buffet I could find, and just eat anything I want. So I
Yeah.
mean that. So literally, I didn't do anything. It still just came back. It was just I did all that work for nothing. But with the mixed martial arts, they kind of like told me like, hey, you can't just do anything you want and think it's gonna work out for you. And also, like, especially when it came to sparring and stuff, like when I had to learn how
Mhm.
to fight other people, and then like I'm winded already because they got me running around chasing after them, and like, okay, just like stuff like that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, like mixed martial arts. Like I've never done it, but I have like wrestled. Like we would watch like UFC back. It was I went to school in the Philippines, and I remember going on the mats with my friends, and we were like, let's let's grapple. But in like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, a minute of that is like you're tired, you're spent. It's a whole body workout trying not to get pinned and all that. So I can see how that could lead you to want to you know extend your fitness level and keep on going.
Right,
So
absolutely. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I mean, like, also, like, I remember I heard this saying. I can't remember who said it. But they were talking about like, I mean, it was like very corny, but it did resonate with me. Where like people, he was saying like, your ancestors were being chased by bears and lions and tigers and stuff, but you can't lift a single weight or anything like that. It's like, that kind of struck me in the heart a bit. Like that was kind of personal, but I kind of get it. I was like, there's like things that we could definitely do, but we just like refuse to do it.
Yeah, so I did meet Frankie over at the toughest 10K Galveston because that's one of the races I'm taking over, and I was looking for people to interview, and you look like a Filipino dude to me, and I was like, I'm Filipino, you're Filipino, and you're also a big guy. I'm a big guy. I'm like 250 and 5'11, but you're how tall are you? You're pretty tall. I think you're
I I'm 6'1".
yeah, you're 6'1". So I was like, man, let me interview you because seeing someone like you out there, you don't know how many people you are actually you're motivating and you're inspiring just by being out there. And when I talked to you, you had like that almost like a David Goggins kind of attitude where you're like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm proud to do this. I'm gonna show people that I can do this, and you had a goal. So, can you tell me a bit about your first 10K at the toughest 10K Galveston?
I mean, I will say David Goggins does inspire me in a sense. I read his books, both of them,
Mhm.
like just like the whole mindset and stuff. And like, but I also like that's kind of like something that I need to like. I need someone to like tell me like stop being a little bee, get up, because like the other motivation doesn't really work for me. It just softens
Mhm,
me up.
mhm.
I need someone to be really tough on me. But with
100%.
the Galveston 10K, I remember I had a friend. He is a runner himself, and he told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, running the bridge," but also just being next to the ocean or like
Mhm.
big bodies of water. I don't know how you feel about it, Jeremy, but also being Filipino, man, I just love being next to the water.
Yeah.
So like I was like thinking like this will be my first 10K. Let's see how it is, and if it's the toughest one, then I know this is really gonna be my the worst one I'll ever do.
Yeah.
You know.
You're gonna PR regardless, basically, or
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna
yeah,
finish.
PR. So, but
So how was it? So you was the bridge hard? Any struggles during the race or anything? Or you stuck
you
to your
know,
plan?
I think I think I did everything I could to like prepare myself, and I
Mhm.
think because like with most races, like I'll be honest, I hate running. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just something I just don't like doing. But I think this was the one I was looking forward to because like I think everything was just right for me. Like I really enjoyed just like running up the bridge, and then even just seeing the sun rising over the water. It was just beautiful. I think like I was just so caught up with the moment of just like, wow, I'm really doing this and it feels nice. I think the weather wasn't that bad either. It wasn't too hot or
No,
anything. It
yeah. It was actually
it
kind of it
felt
was kind of
great.
cool. It warmed up, but it was a pretty nice day for running. I know there were some fast times for sure. I saw.
Yeah, so like I think just that whole day was just really good for me. I think the only bad thing that was bad was I went into running with no idea that you have to find perfect shoes for yourself. So
Mhm.
like this whole time I've been wearing because I did not know I need wide feet shoes, running shoes.
Mhm.
So I've been wearing the other ones. So like after I was done, like I could not walk and all the pain was in my feet, and I was like wondering like what's going on. Then in so much pain. So, but besides that, like everything else just seemed pretty good.
That's funny. That reminds me of that's literally my first 10K. Like I actually ran in shoes that were super old, and the foam was like breaking away as I ran. So I ended up running, and like there was like literally no foam in the bottom of it, just a little stock of whatever leftover foam there was because the shoes were so old. But and my feet were in pain, so I could totally get the pain part of that. So are you still running, or did you sign up for another race, or you doing anything else?
Um, I continue to like sign up for races. Like I haven't done it yet, but I do want to sign up for that Houston Rockets one that's coming up.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then I think I plan to do my first half marathon. The Minute Maid one. I don't know if you heard about that one
Mhm,
or
mhm, mhm. I think
um
there's one they're running the Astro. Is that the one they're running the Astrodome? I know there's a Minute Maid one too. So
yeah, I think it's that one, the Astrodome one. So I
yeah,
plan to
yeah.
do my first half marathon there, and then
Wow.
I did sign up for the rodeo run. I actually I encourage a group of my friends I go to church with, like, hey, let's just do a run, and like a lot of them already signed up for the rodeo run. So
Yeah.
so I want to do 10K, but most of them are doing 5K. It's like, well, I don't want to be left alone behind, So I was like, I'll do it with
Yeah.
you guys. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I mean that's what it's fun. And then eventually all of them will start doing 10Ks, and then y'all will all start doing crazier and crazier distances together. So but let's get back to the Rockets. Are you a Rockets fan?
no, unfortunately not, man. No,
He's
no,
like, I can't lie. I can't lie.
yeah, no, but I'm probably worse than a Rockets fan. I'm a Clippers fan, so
That's not, Harden moved over to the Clippers, so I still have love for Harden, even though people in Houston kind of hate him. But I still have love for Harden, and Kawhi is over there too. So I think they just beat the Lakers recently, pretty bad.
hey, I'll take whatever we can. Like honestly, I'm okay with whatever we got going right now.
Okay, so that's your running history. Tell me about your powerlifting, because you're a big, strong, muscular dude. Like people see me and they think I'm strong, but I saw you, I was like, that dude's stronger than me. So
I mean, I'm not a real power lifter or anything. Like
uh-huh.
I was trained by power lifters, so that was like the
Hmm.
weird thing for me. So I was approached by like one guy at this restaurant that he used to do powerlifting too. He's like, you should do it. I mean, for me, like it looks cool. Like my plan, I don't really want to be like super strong or anything, because like
Uh-huh.
I work in the construction field, so like for me to go to the gym, I just want my body to endure for a long time, because
Yeah.
I see these power lifters when they get older, they're kind of like their bodies are already falling apart. I mean, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, I'm a genetic freak, I guess, when it comes to being Filipino and just this huge, I guess. But
Oh yeah, I saw that you did visit the Philippines, and you must have been like getting some stares, because the average height for a male in the Philippines is like something like 5'4" or 5'5", I think. So I know when I'm there, I'm towering over people, but you're 6'1". You were probably towering over everybody there, right?
yeah, no, so like over in where my family is from in Bacolod, my cousin, we went to his gym. I guess it's a powerlifting gym. And like the owner was asking like, is he Filipino? Like that dude's huge. I was like, but hey, I'm just thankful I didn't get the small jeans, I guess. So
So I read you said you're half Filipino and half Hawaiian, or what is that?
oh no, I'm half Filipino and half Mexican.
Half X. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
my that's my niece and nephew.
yeah. Well, they're both Spanish
Yeah,
occupied, so
yeah. I mean, I don't think Filipinos like to hear that we are the Mexicans of the Asian community, but it's true. We have all the same, last names, and a lot of the words are very similar. And my girlfriend, she's a Mexican as well. So, uh, but do you speak either language?
no, not at all. I'm a full bred American man.
Yeah, me
Born in
too.
the USA.
I don't know anything. But I also saw you went to Thailand. I guess it was on a mission or something. Did you learn any Thai over there?
Yes, I did learn some Thai, just to because I was there for like about like a couple weeks, and then I had to
Hmm.
learn the language. And yeah, it's very different from the Philippines. I mean, even out there, a lot of them thought I was Thai too, which I was
Mhm.
kind of like, okay, I guess. But then
Yeah.
also like when I was out there, I'm like, oh, I mean, y'all kind of look like Filipinos too. It's just like the culture is different. I think it was just like during that time I was just trying to still kind of find myself in life, wasn't sure where I was going, but my mentor, he wanted me to go on this trip, and I was like, you know what, I'll decide to go, and then I ended up going there, and it was one of the best moments of my life, and I think it also made me way more grateful for a lot of things I have now.
Mhm.
Cause
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I was in
100%.
like, cause like I was in like Bangkok for probably like a couple days, but I was living in the countryside of Thailand, so I
Mm,
wasn't like in big cities or anything. I was just like in a small village,
yeah.
teaching like people working at the local factory and also teaching the kids how to speak English. I'm like, hey, there's barely AC, and like the
Yeah.
bugs are bigger there, and the coconuts could fall on you at any moment. But it was like it was a probably one of the best things that could ever happen to me.
Yeah, that's true. Because when I was in the Philippines, we would go to like the tandos, or I don't know what they're called, but they're really like the shanty homes, and the people are so happy. They literally have nothing. Like they're there's like living with like their house is made out of leftover like trash basically, and it makes you appreciate what you have compared to them. Like a lot of like the hot showers and all that stuff, and it's like how can you be angry at life when people have it much harder than you and you see them dancing in the streets. So it changes your perspective for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what else are you doing right now in Houston? Are you I saw you might be moving away. Is that something that I saw that you might be going back to Vegas or
Oh no. Every time I go back to Vegas, everyone wants me to move back. Which
uh
it's always good like to feel like people back home still want you, but I feel like going back there, I just feel like it's like taking a couple steps back that I did not want to do.
mhm,
Because Las Vegas is a really small town. Trust me, I love that town with all
mhm,
my heart. I grew up as a man out there. I learned many lessons, like good and bad, out there, and it raised me to be the man I am today. But I feel like it's kind of like one of those like I've done everything in that town. Like, what else is more out there? So I went out here to Houston, kind of like build some bridges. Because the main reason I came out here was to kind of reconnect with my dad because we don't have a good relationship, but
mhm,
we're trying our best.
mhm.
But but being out here has been like one of the best decisions I've ever made. So, but I mean, God willing, I don't plan to move out of Houston anytime soon. I
Okay.
mean, I wish the weather was better. Like honestly, because
I
like
was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. I was like, so which is worse? Is it dry heat or the humidity? Which is worse?
definitely the humidity. But you know what? Like, cause like Jeremy, like I sweat here more than I've ever sweat before. Cause I thought like being in Thailand in the countryside was like the
Yeah,
worst humidity. Like, no, this is different. Maybe
yeah,
it's
this
because
is different.
I think the history I heard was like Houston used to be a swamp marsh at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, okay, that's like heavy humidity because like Philippines and Thailand, that's tropical humidity. That's like the easy stuff. This is like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm sweating all the time, and I'm a construction worker too, so I'm working outside. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, that's true.
I'm
You're
just
outdoors all the time.
I know I'm just always sweating, and I don't lose any weight, man. It's just like I just start on getting dehydrated, so it's tough for me.
So, so you're in Houston. Have you joined any running clubs over there? I know that there's a ton of running clubs. I feel like you could join a lot and meet a lot of people too. That's a great place to meet people.
Yeah, so actually so at my church we have a running group club called Houston Smiles Club.
Hmm.
So I know a lot. So the guy that introduced me to the Galveston 10K, he goes to that one a lot, and then like I ended up just I show up there on Wednesday nights too. There's also this one called the Unify PT Run Club. They meet at a bar over here in the Heights.
Hmm.
So those are the only run clubs I go to. I see some around, but I'm also I don't know. I'm also trying to work through the motivation of trying to run too, because those races are easy to run because I know I'm gonna get a medal at the end. But when it comes to just
Yeah.
on my own training, it's like this is horrible. Why am I doing this? But
So, what's your typical like a week of training that you're doing right now? Is it a mix of running and lifting, or is it just purely running right now, or what is it? Some BJJ?
um, so I
Is it?
want
Do
to.
they even call it BJJ? Am I saying that wrong? Is it Brazilian Jiu Jitsu?
I mean, whatever works out. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not the. I just say MMA or whatever. So
Okay.
I mean so MMA has been taking a step back a bit just because I
Hmm.
want to do more running.
Hmm.
And also maybe I'll dip. Well, today I'm train someone in boxing because I just introduced them into it. So
Nice.
but like during a week, like I take like 2 to 3 days of trying to run, but I do want to do more running because I slack off a lot, and that's the one thing I need to do more of. Weightlifting, I do like yeah, about 2 days a week of weightlifting, but I think I'm also inconsistent with what I want right now. So like
Yeah.
I really just want to take care of the belly fat. That's the one thing I really want, like just to get rid of the belly fat, man.
That's the
But
hard part, man. I don't the problem is you're never satisfied with your body, right? Like I remember 2, 3 years ago, I was like, man, I'm looking bad. And then now I look back at myself and like, man, I was looking pretty trim. But yeah, me too. Like right now I'm trying to like for us, like we're bigger guys. So whenever you start either getting bigger or I think whenever you start getting bigger, like gaining more weight, people are like, "Oh, you're getting more muscular." I'm like, "No, man, I am just getting bigger. It's not, it's not
yeah, for
muscle. What's
sure.
up?" They never give you the excuse to call it like if I want to call myself fat, they'll be like, "No, you're not fat. You're just muscular." I was like, "No, it's a lie. Stop telling me that lie because I'm gaining weight every year. So you're putting it in my head." So it's a weird thing being a bigger guy and trying to lose weight at the same time.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like, also it's hard we live in Houston, man. Like, we have barbecue
so
steak
so
places
much.
everywhere. And Louisiana's next door, so we have the Cajun influence. Like, I can't get enough of this food, man. Like, and that's the reason why I'm like, I need to be more disciplined. But whenever I see we have crawfish festivals coming up soon,
Uh huh.
and the rodeo, and I'm like, this is why like it's just so hard to lose weight, and that's on me though. I know that's on me. Like, hey, you shouldn't do it, but it's also like, hey, this is right in front of me. Like
Yeah,
I can't.
if the food's good, I'm gonna eat it.
No, absolutely. The what's it called? I heard my uncles call it the seafood diet, where it's like I see food and I eat it.
Yeah. So what after your 10K, what did you eat after? I mean, there was food at the Galveston thing, but I'm sure you went home and celebrated a little bit with some food too, because that's what you got to do when you run. I mean, yeah.
So no, actually at the Galveston 10K was on a Sunday, right? So literally,
Hmm.
I took that little they had like little vans that take us back to our parking
Hmm.
spots. I took the parking spot. I went to my hotel, took a quick shower. I think I had a protein shake and I just went straight to church, man, right after that.
Yeah, he's super healthy, super healthy. So, but what would you do? What do normally do you like eat what to celebrate like a sporting event?
Um Shoot, that's hard. Like it's either like a burger or fried chicken. I don't care where it's from, like as long as it's like convenient enough for me.
I actually live in Beaumont, Texas, and my favorite fried chicken is Popeyes, and they closed every single one of them down in this area. So there's like 16 in the area, and for some reason they're all closed. So I have to go to Houston in order for me to get my Popeyes. So you're lucky. So you're lucky. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, man, I'm driving straight to Jollibee. That's where I go.
I would, I wanted, I don't know if Jollibee food is my jam. In the Philippines, I feel like it was better, but over here, I need to go back again. So because everybody says that the chicken is really good, but I don't know. Maybe because it's not really fast food at Jollibee in Houston. It's you're waiting a long time like it's a restaurant.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Um, no, I feel the same way with you too. Like when I was over in the Philippines, it did feel like the fried chicken was better out there compared to like out here. I mean, no knock on Jollibee, so I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
love that. So
I love Jollibee. You can't that's like the best introduction to anybody, any American to Filipino food. You know, it has a little bit of everything. It's got the palabok, it's got uh the chicken joy, of course, and then the longanisa. That's Longanisa is my favorite Filipino food ever. But yeah. So I see you are a you're big into your Christianity. You're going to the post and doing all that thing. What led you to that?
To like go into the post or like
The post and finding God and just you know.
well, I think like cuz like in growing up, like I really felt like I had no purpose in life. Like,
Mhm,
I would go out with my friends, we would go drinking, or like, we would, do some other unholy things that I can't say in case my
mhm.
mom watches this. But there were like moments of those times where it's just like, what am I doing in my life, and where am I going? Because like, you could get lost with all these things and like identities and stuff, and like for me,
Mhm,
like I had no identity of my who I was, because like I would do all these things, like I said, like and it would consume my life, and it was like one of those things where you constantly do it, but then like there's that rush of that feeling, but then it just gets weaker and weaker because you just get used to it.
mhm,
So yeah, I mean, like when I found God, it was like in a moment where it's like I was so broken and I just needed like some kind of help for like what was going on within myself, like not only just within my physical health but even with my mental health. It was like I thought so lowly of myself, and I thought like there's like a lot of things I was just not capable of. And
mhm.
then my mentor, Jordan, he took it upon himself to like, what, I'm gonna leave my door open for you, and I'm gonna teach you about God and stuff. And same thing when I went to Thailand, it just made me realize, there's like bigger things, there's like crazier things than, the little like, oh man, this person like cut me off over traffic, or this person
Yeah,
called me a name. It's just like, there's like bigger things in life that matter more than little things like that. And then like
yeah.
going to the post, well actually it was just by by God's grace that like there's like two things that I do at the post out there, which is we have a Monday night worship that happens at the post called Urban Hymnal. So a lot of people just like to worship God or like give poetry, or like just all these other things that they just want to share with people in a random setting. And then
Yeah.
our church got so big that we had to move somewhere else, and then like we found a spot over at the Eden Plant Company, the coffee shop over there. Because they rent out their space to us. So, and by chance our church is also called Eden. So
Mm.
yeah,
So
so
it
I'm like
worked
there
out.
like twice a week, man.
That's awesome. That's good. That's great. You know, I love that you were you came here to Houston to connect with your dad, and you found your fitness over here as well. So Houston has been great for you. You found your love of God again, and you're growing that relationship with Him, and just getting stronger in all aspects of life. So I think that's really what growth is about, and you're becoming just a better person and more well-rounded person overall. So that's awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So Frankie, what else like if we have some so we'll get back to running and if somebody like your size was looking back to start running or like when you're even bigger, what would you tell them? Like how would you advise them to start off if they're lost in their fitness journey?
Like particularly running, or just like trying to get back into shape?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Wait,
doesn't have to be running. It could be just getting back into shape or starting the
I mean,
fitness journey.
for me, like I'm okay with asking for help. Like I contacted you about like marathon running, because like I was planning to do my first
Hmm.
marathon this year, which I don't think is gonna happen. We could talk about that later. But for me, it was just like I just kept asking questions like, what should I do? Because like like when I told you about when I first went to the gym, it was just more of a checklist. Like, I was
Mhm.
lifting weights, but I don't even think I was doing it right. There's proper form. There's all these other things that are added to it to like
Yeah.
actually get actual results. So like for me, honestly, I would just ask help. Like, I have people that ask me for help for like, when it comes to working out, but sometimes I don't even know. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, like, we could just ask this person over here, or we could ask a coach. Like, I think one thing about like gym culture, like some people think that's like it could be toxic, but I think there's a lot of people within the gym community that will like give you advice if you actually ask for it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you wanted to run a marathon this year? Is that still a thing you wanna do?
So like personally for me, like I've been telling people this, like if I'm running a marathon, it's not gonna be in America. I'm traveling around the world. So
Mhm.
like I was planning to do the Rock and Roll Manila Marathon
Oh, wow. Yeah.
in November, but then so I'm going to trade school, and the marathon is on a Sunday, and I go to school on Mondays. So I was like, that's like too close. I can't do that. So I think I
Well,
might have to.
if you're trained right, but I still think your first marathon, you're gonna be hurting the next day. You'll be walking funny. You probably can
Yeah,
make it to class. It'll just be very slow.
yeah. So like, and I'm like, you know what? I want my first marathon to be in front of my family members.
Uh,
So like, I'm really like committed to like, I'm gonna do it in Manila first. So, because I was hoping this year that it was gonna land on the weekend before Thanksgiving, so I have
mhm.
that whole week off. But it seems like it's gonna be the weekend of Thanksgiving, so it's gonna be on the 30th. So the next day I have to go to school. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to risk that either. So
I was gonna say if you wanted to do the marathon in Houston next year, I'll run it with you. We could go. We could go. Well, I'll get you to the finish line in 6 hours because I couldn't do it this year because I hurt myself. But I'm gonna heal up and I want to get. I want to help people to the finish line. And if you want to do it in next January, you let me know, Frankie.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'm still open minded. Like probably like some in America. So like like I don't know. Like I see like was it Spartan Race does like some of the runs in the
Yeah.
nature too, like the Spartan trails. Like shoot, if they have one in Yellowstone, I'll probably do one in Yellowstone. That'd be kind of nice. Like somewhere
Yeah,
with
you
like
should. You could even look into like ultra marathons or stuff like that because in ultras you could go. You don't have to be like for me. I'm not a fast guy. I'm pretty slow. Like I can't run. I can my best marathon probably a 5:30 if I actually ran it. So I moved into ultra marathons where you could go like a 16, 17 minute mile and still finish. So I like
okay,
those races.
okay, yeah. I'm still like new into the running world, so like, well, particularly I don't know much about like anything longer than a 10K. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so ultra marathon is anything above 26.2. So usually it starts off with a 31 miler. But it sounds daunting, but I'm telling you, it's a different space because the trail running, they're more chill. It's even marathons, they're not about your time, but in trail running, it's even less about your time. It's just about getting out there and finishing the race. So it's a lot different experience. But you'll eventually get there, I'm sure. Or you get there now with me.
I'm open to any challenge, honestly. But I'll probably verbally say I hate it, but in my mind, I'm probably gonna love it though. It's one of those things where it's like, I'll verbally say the opposite when I'm actually feeling.
I think that's called a type 2 fun, where while you're doing it, it's like the worst thing ever, but afterwards it's fun. Like you'll think about it, you'll think back about it, and then you'll be like, oh, I actually had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, so anything else you want to tell anybody before we get to the last thing that we were going to talk about?
Um, well, also like something out of the ordinary. Like I'm gonna do a Spartan race in March, so that's gonna
Okay.
be interesting. So,
So how are you training for that?
I'll be honest, I have not been training at all. And like being a big guy and stuff, and like having a
Yeah,
lot of weight still, like I am terrified about all the hanging parts, the monkey
yeah.
bars parts where it's just all upper body. I'm like, yeah, I know when I'm like I'm not gonna meet that, but I'm just looking forward to just doing it anyways. No
Because
matter what.
if you don't complete a task, right, you have to do like 10 burpees or something, right? Isn't that the way Spartan race?
Uh, I think so. Like, well, let's hope it's just 10. Like,
Yeah, it might be
yeah,
more. I don't even remember. I
yeah.
think the hardest thing for me whenever I did the Spartan race, there was this rope pull. So it was a rope on a pulley, like super high, and there's a sandbag on the other side, and you had to pull it like and pull it all the way up. And I was a big guy too, so I was already working out, doing a lot of bro lifts, and I couldn't do it. My grip strength was not there. Like I had no grip strength. I had like 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 gym strength, so I could like bench, I could do everything else, but I had no grip strength whatsoever. So no real world strength. So that's when I actually started powerlifting to get to know my squats, get to know everything else. Because before that, I was just lifting like bro lifts in the gym and not really getting strong. So I think that's the one thing that was hard for me at the Spartan race. And then also you have to throw a spear right at a haystack. So that I always did the burpees whenever I went and did that.
Oh, that should be natural to me, man. I love axe throwing and throwing spears and stuff like that. So those are
Okay.
things that those are things I like to do sometimes. Like, I want to get back into archery. I used
Hmm.
to shoot arrows a lot, but lately that's been taking a backseat too because it's an expensive hobby. But but once in a while, I like to go axe throwing too. That's one of my jams. I love that.
Yeah, we have one over here. And I'm pretty good at that too. I like throwing the axe. It's a fun thing. We should probably do that one day when I'm in Houston. I'll call you up and let's go axe throwing, Frankie.
Dude, yeah, we should definitely hang out when you come back out here, man.
Yeah. Uh, so Spartan, which one are you gonna do?
I'm gonna just start slow and just do the 5K first. See how it is.
Where's it
You know?
at? Is it local? Is it in Houston?
Oh yeah, it's like past Katy. Like if you're going west past
Oh,
Katy.
okay. So I think it is at the same ranch that 7IL Ranch, right? I think it might be there. I think
Yeah,
that's the Spartan
probably. I
race.
think it's near Sealy, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That's it. I've seen those things. Those because we did a trail run over there one day, and I was like, "What the heck are all these little obstacle courses everywhere?" And they said they do Spartan races over there. So yeah, I don't think I can do the hanging. For big guys, hanging stuff. Uh, and yeah, getting under things are tough too. Spartan doesn't have the electricity, huh?
I think that's Tough Mudder.
That's Tough Mudder. Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
it's Tough Mudder.
Yeah, I think it is Tough Mudder. You're
Because
right.
I'm a bit. I mean, I'm an electrician too, man. I get shocked enough. I don't need to do it on my days off either.
You don't need to do it when you're trying to have fun.
Yeah, I know for real.
All right. So, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about before we get to the last topic?
Um, well, I guess I just want to share with you too, man. Like, cause like one of the other things I also want to aspire to after a marathon was I also want to do Ironmans too.
Wow.
Cause what's it called? So like when I was in the Philippines, I traveled around the Philippines. So we
Mhm.
went to like the hometown Bacolod. We went to Boracay. We went to Davao, which my aunt lives, and they have an Ironman course out there,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like kind of cool to see. And I was also like, you know what? Because like I think for me, like what also helps me is like I'm super driven to challenge myself more, and I'm always asking myself to challenge me. So like like the MMA thing, because like that started to get easy. I was like, you know what? Let me start running, and I don't know if I'll ever get the runner's high, and maybe I'll get. Maybe I'll get to a point where I love running so much that I'll just be running marathons every single day. But then I also want to set myself to make sure, like I'm never complacent where I'm at. Where it's like I'm
Mhm.
always like striving to grow more in certain
Yeah.
areas. So like maybe if the running gets easy, then I'll start doing the biking and then the swimming kind of thing. So who knows? Maybe an Ironman's in the future. W-
Have you
Um,
swam for distance yet?
Actually, there's a group of guys I go swimming with on Thursdays.
Okay.
Not
Man.
tonight. So we're kind of like. I mean, it's kind of like okay, yeah, this is kind of like you know a little
the
something
s-
something here.
the swimming part is the part that gets me. That's the hardest part. I did a sprint try maybe 2 years ago, and Man, I held on to the surfboard guy like maybe 20 times, and it was a short. I think it was maybe 600 meters, so it wasn't even a long swim. And I was like, I was dying. Actually, in the middle of it, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. They're like, you got halfway there, don't quit. I was like, let me quit. but
Nah, man.
I finally made it. So yeah, I would love to do that too. I just can't swim. I just need to learn how to swim.
Yeah, man, swimming's a different beast. Like I never knew about it until I was like, I did a first full lap. I'm like, holy cow, how's this harder than running? Honestly,
Yeah, because
like
when you stop in swimming, you die, right? So you drown. When you're running, you can stop and you're walking or standing.
I know, right? It's insane. But like yeah, I just there's like other things I want to aspire to, but I also know not to get ahead of myself sometimes.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. Keep on growing, keep on improving, keep on striving to do better and better, and not get stagnant. So I think that's a great lesson that you're trying to do to yourself. So we're gonna get to the last part, and that's gonna be this or that. So I basically asked you, which one do you like better, this or that, and you tell me, and you could tell me a little bit more why you chose the answer if you want to. So the
Okay.
first one is hamburgers or pizza. Which one do you prefer?
Uh, uh, probably hamburgers. Like,
Hamburgers? Okay.
yeah.
Which one's your favorite one that you get? Like a fast food one or a local one?
All right. Well, I know I'm in the great state of Texas, and I'm always thankful for Texas.
Uh-oh. In and
But
out.
I'm from the West Coast, so yeah, In and Out. I grew up eating In and Out. I'm not gonna say anything bad about anyone else's burgers, but that's just a core memory for me. Like every time I see In and Out, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to get it. And most of them don't hit. Not all of them are bad though. But for
Yeah.
me, like I remember growing up, and this was like that was like the gourmet burger for me growing up.
No, In and Out's pretty good. I mean, they make everything fresh. Everything, I like the In and Out. Whenever I'm in Vegas, I go to that one that they have in that whatever in that big old what's that called? The Ferris wheel.
Oh, the
Uh
link. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
link.
link. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's one over there, and their service is quick because we went to White Castle one night and it was so slow. It took like an hour, and then uh I mean In and Out was like literally you're in and out in there. So even though there's a large line, so I like In and Out too. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I won't say that. I'm a Texas boy, born and raised.
Yeah, no, it's just like that weird hamburger beef. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna fight it, but I'm just like, this is my personal thing.
All right, the next one is gonna be running or BJJ MMA.
Running,
Running. Wow.
running more, because MMA hurts more, especially when you fight someone else.
Yeah. Is the MMA like is size an advantage in MMA?
And uh, sometimes I would say,
Hmm.
I think like with jujitsu, I think personally I've been taken down by smaller people.
Yeah, I could.
But then again, I'm also a big guy, so I can't really say
Mhm.
like. But when it comes to like smaller working out with smaller people, they definitely like kick my butt a lot more.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean like, I mean I still don't like running, but I mean there's less like most of the pain in running is just from my feet or my legs. But like with MMA it could be everywhere, honestly.
We need to get you in the right shoes. That's so. What are you wearing now? Are you wearing New Balances, like wide New
Yes.
Balances?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got some like white feet New Balances. I went to Fleet Feet and I
Mhm.
got the right shoes for me. So I've been running in those for um like probably like these past 3 or 4 races. So it's been
Mhm.
good.
And it's been better.
Yeah, definitely better.
Never ever if you're like don't like narrow shoes, don't never get those like super shoes like the Nike Vapor Flies whatever. I have a pair of those. They are the most uncomfortable things. I can even run a mile in them and it hurts my feet so much. So yeah, don't do that.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, this one is gonna be our last one. This one is Las Vegas or Houston.
Oh, easy Houston.
Wow, you like Houston now, huh? You like the humidity. You like the people. This is the place now. This is where you grew and became a better man, huh?
Well, Houston. I mean, I could do without the humidity. Honestly, it's just I think the South is more hospitable. Like,
Hmm.
feels like everywhere I go, I see a person, they'll smile back or they'll say hi to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And but then again, I'm also a friendly guy too. But like, in not trashing Las Vegas or anything. Like I said, I grew up there. That's home. That's where I grew up. But it's also like, everything's just so familiar. And I think what really catches me with Houston is that it seems like there's a lot more family businesses out here. Like, like
Hmm.
a lot more family owned restaurants. The restaurants are a lot different. But over there, like, I could probably name like every McDonald's or Chick-fil-A that's in every corner. But like over here, like, I barely see any of them out here. It's just like either like, these, hole in the wall restaurants everywhere. So it's nice, and honestly, I just like the food here better.
Yeah, yeah. You've only been here a year, so you still got a lot more places to discover.
3 years.
You've been here 3 years. Okay, so
Yeah, I've
yeah.
been here
Well,
since 2021. So it's
okay, so
about
you've been here for a
four
while.
4 years in June. So
Okay, well, never mind then. So you know all the places, and you probably know more places than me then, since I live all the way in Beaumont.
yeah, I don't know, man. There's still more things. I think I saw an article about, like, if you were to try every hole in the wall restaurant in Houston, it would take you about 30 years to do that.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, Houston's got a lot of good food. That's the thing. Vegas has a lot of good food, but it's like you said, it's like chains. Like if you want chain food from any place in America, you could get it in Vegas for sure. Like there's like Giordano's over there, and there's a Whataburger over there too, In and Out. So
Yeah,
there's
I will.
everything over there.
I will say there's one thing. Well, there's a couple things that Vegas does have that Houston doesn't have, which is one is Hawaiian food. Like, there's a
Mm,
lot of Hawaiians in in Las
in
Vegas,
Vegas,
so I
yeah.
do kind of miss the Hawaiian food
Hmm.
out there. And then there's a thing that we that every time I go back to Vegas, I always have to get. It's called carne asada fries. Just think
Hmm.
about like these loaded nachos with meat, but replace them with fries.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So every time I go back there, it's like I'm getting that. But when it comes to like everything, I do love Houston. It's has a really big special place in my heart, and also like I said, like I don't think I would get into the fitness and also like the trajectory I'm at right now if I didn't move out here. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, where can people find you at if they want to link up with you on Instagram or anywhere else?
Honestly, just I'm only ever active on Instagram, so it's
Okay,
yeah, Frankie, Franky. Oh, I'm sorry, Frankie period H Town, Franky period HTOWN.
there you go. I like the name. It's a good name. I'm surprised you were able to get it.
Yeah, I mean, before that I was just Frankie period LV. So
now you're H Town Frankie. Frankie
yeah,
H
I'm just
Town.
here. Yeah, I couldn't get Houston. Someone else took that. So
All right, man. I appreciate you on the podcast. And yeah, man, have a good one, man. I appreciate you.
all right, you too, man. Thank you, man.
Another great episode in the books. Thank you, Frankie, so much for being on the Goku Runner Talks podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all those things so that this podcast can be seen by many more people. Also, don't forget to catch the next episode of the Goku Runner Talks podcast every Monday. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.